I got the vest on. You guys know what that means. It is time to talk down upon Helium, and there has been something that has happened with Helium. So let's get into the video. My name is Chris. Thank you guys for checking out my channel and checking out the content that I'm about to provide you guys. It's a little bit different intro, but I want to talk to you guys about some of the cons of what's been happening with the Helium network, a lot of the things that have been overlooked and kind of just forgotten about, like spoofers. Do you guys remember when spoofers was a big issue? Well, I shouldn't say when, because it still is a big issue, and Helium just kind of shoved it to the side. It kind of feels like they're gaslighting us a little bit, telling us that it doesn't exist. But I want to talk about all that stuff and more. So we're going to be looking at a Reddit post that someone posted. I read it. I thought it was really informational, and I want to talk about it. And we can talk about some other things. So let's get into the video. First and foremost, I will have this in the description below so you guys can check it out. But I wanted to mention that Network Bits, I guess you could say a friend of mine, made a video talking about this Helium Light Spots update, HNT DAO Summarize, Go Vote. And it talks about some of the benefits and the cons, and some really major cons, such as like it doesn't really matter. Our votes aren't going to matter because the whales are making all these decisions. We kind of just have the illusion that we can vote. And it's similar. I think a comedian said at one time, we have the illusion of freedom. You have the illusion of doing all this stuff. So, and I'm going to get ripped in the comments for not remembering his name. I watch him all the time. But anyway, Network Bits made this video, and Voscoin ended up covering the same topic, talking about how helium mining sucks. And he mentioned Network Bits in the video. So that was pretty cool. As for earnings right now, 8 cents, 83 cents is just disgusting. I was making easily $200 to $300 a month. I want to say Q4 of 2021, because that's when I started mining. But it sucks where we're at right now. Now I'm making $21, and I should be happy about it. And they're gonna blame it on more hotspots coming online. So let's get into the article. Article. And this is clearly a point of view from a hotspot owner who didn't invest his money into HNT, but instead the hotspots themselves. And I was considering this for a long time, but I'm glad I didn't, because Helium price went down. I probably wouldn't have sold anyway. So I'm glad that I actually bought the devices, because it made me more inclined to sell. But anyway, who didn't invest the money in HNT, but instead to build out the network. And they want to talk about some points as a hotspot owner. So the Helium network is not decentralized. For one, Helium Inc. is now Nova Labs, and is a company with investors that are beholden to, and their developers ultimately get to decide what happens to the network, regardless of anyone else. As it is, whenever to create something, it's yours, but I'm tired of hearing that the project is decentralized when it's anything but. Only thing decentralized is all of us putting out coverage, which is very accurate. This is not the People's Network. When it was launched, it was claimed as the People's Network, and now it's just kind of a slogan. But the next part is an objective look at how voting is done for HIPs, and I know I'm not the only one who shares this sentiment. The fact that voting power is based on the amount of HNT held versus actual service provided for the network means that hotspot owners are unfairly represented when voting. I can't speak. I could have just as easily taken the thousands of dollars I spent on my 10 hotspot setups and bought HNT itself and have more voting power than someone actually providing coverage and building the network. But I chose to do that instead because I believed in it, and I believe because it's the People's Network, your voice is directly proportional to your contribution to building the network. Boy, was I wrong. When I got to vote for my first HIP voting for hotspot owners could be based on the amount of hotspots you have to fairly represent all votes, and validators should have something similar. And then it says some other stuff here. The most recent HIP had 3,500 votes yes and 750 votes no at one point, and somehow it was 96.8% vote yes percentage. Tell me how that makes sense. Because of the amount of helium that they own, which is just not fair. Network security and spoofing. This is something that is foundational to the project, and I feel like it's not being prioritized as much as it should be. The network and project is growing fast, and that, in my opinion, has not gotten enough attention to us. Hotspot owners are directly affected by this because that means lower earnings for us and people actually providing coverage. Right here, this entire area is all spoofed. Now, not every single hotspot, but it is completely gridlocked. And if you zoom in somewhere in here, there's an airport. I think it's up here. But the point is, there's so much spoofing going on, and Helium hasn't done anything about this. I talked about this in other videos before. But number 4, total HNT release per day for miners. A previous HFP was passed so that the proper target amount of HNT per day by validators to miners could be hit, and this was supposed to improve everyone's earnings. Well, the update has come and gone, so I ask you, where is the increase in earnings for miners? Because I only noticed it for a week. Now things are back to lower than the target HNT per day dispersal. I'm only feeling like this now because I was at first in favor of this HFP, but now I feel like this was just another way to cut validators another slice of earnings for a job originally done by the hotspots themselves, and therefore taking away earnings for hotspot owners. What was the point if validators aren't even hitting the target amount of HNT released to miners per day? It's a very good point. But a counter to that is that it's not even a counter. It's just a follow-up to this, is that the validators, some of them aren't updating, and it's a major issue with decentralization, is that there's the possibility that the people hosting the validators, hosting the nodes, aren't updating their devices, and it could prevent, some rewards. It could prevent network upgrades and stuff like that. They need to all be on the same page. Don't know how you could really do that. I mean, it's possible, and a lot of chains do this, but some chains still struggle with this issue, such as Helium. The validators don't update all the time, and so many reasons could be behind that. HNT tokenomics long term. This is purely hypothetical, but in my opinion, the devs underestimated their number for HNT tokenomics. They didn't foresee the huge network hotspot growth and the lack of HNT release per day to those hotspots, so they weren't hitting the estimated numbers. Now, this wouldn't be an issue if the price of Helium was high. I just want to put that out there, that this number 5 probably wouldn't be in here if the price of HNT was, let's say, 50 or 75 bucks. But we are at, not a bear market, but it's just a decline in the market. The problem here is that instead of trying to properly account for this oversight by finding a way to properly meet the original numbers or match what was currently expected, they cut deeper into those earnings with validators, dev tax, etc. Don't misunderstand something either. Validators, as well as light hotspots, have been in the white paper since I read it in April 21, so I knew this was coming. However, I could not have expected the lack of support the devs have had in supporting hotspot owners' rewards via not upholding the original estimates or pivoting to match the numbers. The dev's whole statement about even if you're getting less HNT, the value of HNT will increase only works if there is actual demand for the token, which right now there is not. So they pretty much already summarized what I just said. Stop leaving everything up to chance and actively support the people who built your network instead of acting like a bunch of schmucks with the lime. The hotspot owner takes all the risks to be part of your network, even if it's $500 per miner. Most are spending $600 to $700 just to earn a decent amount. They talk about hotspot manufacturers. Hotspot manufacturers, although not directly responsible, this to me reflects how Nova farms, because this is something that should have been vetted from the beginning. I suffered through a terrible experience with Nebra, ultimately finally get my money back. Yeah, we've all been there. 6 months wait times for Bobcats, and the same goes for CalChip. And the CalChip launched the minted miners, and they're just pumping them out. So it's kind of messed up for the people that are on the CalChip waitlist. Anyway, I don't even have to preach about this point because I know so many of you still haven't gotten your miners. I understand Nova Farms isn't directly responsible for each manufacturer, but this reflects on them and the poor vetting they did with each manufacturer. I ordered a Bobcat in November of last year, and I still have yet to receive. Oh my gosh, that sucks. 5G. This ties into my tokenomics point. This is also where HIP 51 kind of fits in, and why I think they need to do this HIP in the first place. The devs are trying to cash grab, in my opinion, with this one. I know it's written into the white paper because I say this, but I say this because there's a lot of money in 5G, and the devs are in a rush to capitalize on it, and I understand that. Who can blame them? One problem with this is, how did you cut an already oversliced pie? This is where their overall mistake with their tokenomics and mishandling of hotspot owners' rewards begin to show itself. They've overextended to try and make this work, in my opinion, and have done nothing but cut into our hotspot earnings. I just lost my spot. In the process to compensate for it. A second problem is that the foundation of low-raw hotspots still isn't complete. Security and spoofing. Great points. And now they're going to stretch the resources even further with 5G. I completely understand. How do they possibly see that playing out? The third problem is that we have seen how much they care about their investment and earnings as lower hotspot earnings. Now they want you to pay 10 times what you paid for a lower hotspot, $5,000 plus, to set up a 5G hotspot and receiver and earn how much? And I was a victim of this, I could say. I bought the Freedom Fi hotspot, and I had it for, I want to say, a month. Ended up selling it, just a hotspot. I didn't even buy the 5G cell because it was ridiculous. It was like $4,000. And I had the money back then. I do not have the money right now. I have to pay for school. I have to do all this stuff. Hence why HIP 51 has been passed. They needed a way to fix their expansion original tokenomics mistake and blended disregard for hotspot owners' earnings. The problem is also this HIP also hurts lower hotspots earnings because the value of 5G HNT token is going to be worth more than the lower HNT token. So not only have our earnings have been decreased, but now the value of the coin gets reduced as well because you're not even earning HNT anymore. That is a really good point because not a lot of people are using LoRaWAN, and 5G is the future. LoRaWAN is kind of a thing of the past now in terms of talking about Helium. But even though everything is on LoRa, there's not a lot of sensors being used, in my opinion. I think there needs to be a huge uptake in the amount of sensors being used, and it's not easy to set these things up. I've used the Helium console before. It is a little bit complicated. Not the average Joe can do this, but and there's also not a lot of tutorials out there. So my final thoughts in terms of business practice, this is awful. The Helium network is a business at the end of the day. I mean, anyone who says you paid $500 for a box and you get to make money and it doesn't cost you anything in the process is so ignorant to the fact that though people bought those $500 in the first place to build a network for you only to pay a fraction of what we invested, or basically getting the bird by you for that comment. You can't actively sabotage hotspot earnings and hotspots in general. Yeah, I'm talking about flatliners and others who have experienced issues after an update, yes. And tell us it's good for the network. It's obviously good for the devs and Nova Farms, but it's truly the people's network as they claim that, and none of that sounds good to me. I've read the white paper and you should too, to let me know your opinion. I think many things have been executed according to the white paper, many things have been not. I do not like the overall direction we've been heading in for the last couple of months, and this is purely opinion on the matter. And then here's a little perspective about this person. February 2021, when I first found out about the Helium and the vision direction, I was sold. Then versus how it's changed and playing out now. I have 10 miners, well set up, been mining for 67 months, and sadly, at the moment, I only make 0.6 HNT per day with $50 of overhead each month to run the hotspots. Pay for internet, hosting, blah, blah, blah. That sucks. 0.6 HNT for all the hotspots. And how much am I making? 0.08. Yeah, so they're not making a lot. As you can see, I'm making a fraction of what others are making with less miners and less invested, and my setups are all 6 meters up at least, antenna spec for the areas, and the areas they are in are not saturated. I'd like to point out my HNT earned used to be a lot better prior to this update too, 1.5 HNT per day average. So I know this drop in earning for the last 30 days is not due to the fact more miners have come online. The price of HNT is down, or the fact my hotspots aren't optimized setups. And there's some comments here, so you guys can read the comments if you want, but I believe I said this in a video before, a long time ago, talking about earnings going down drastically and them saying it's because more hotspots are on the network. It seems like a cop-out for them. It seems like an easy way to just say, yeah, you're not earning more because more hotspots are online, and not actually address the real issue. And I'm glad more people are starting to notice this. I'm not sure if this is something that needs to be looked into. I don't even know how you would look into this. I'm just bringing this up because I think this is important. Why are there 6 hotspots in this location? That makes no sense. Most of them are all fine. Anyway, it's important to hold these companies responsible. Any of these crypto companies. That's why I made the video on Revel5, because I was like, it doesn't look great. I've made so many videos on Helium, and a lot of them have gotten bashed in the Helium Discord, but it's because people need to hear this, even if it's not true, even if it's proven false in the future. Even the idea of something like them manipulating the rewards is something that needs to be discussed and talked about, because I used to be making so much HNT, and I understand that the network has grown so much, and now there's 5G, there's light hotspots, and light hotspots don't really even earn anything. But if I were to go to just the amount of hotspots, let's go to statistics, 845,000 hotspots. I think I got in when there was 400,000, so it's double. So you would think I would be making half just roughly half of what I've been making. So what, $100 a month? And I'm not even making anything close to that. I'm making $21 a month. And I'm strictly talking about the USD value. If we were to talk about the amount of H&T, I made about 15 H&T per month. So I would expect to make like 7. So I'm not making anywhere close to that. And I think this article brought up a lot of really good things. 96 comments. This is a very active comment section right now. Of course, this video is going to be going up on Wednesday. So they do talk about a whole bunch. A lot of the people in the Helium community just like joke around and they don't take anything seriously and they just kind of troll. But it's also Reddit. So, you know, but he brings up a lot of good points. And I think you guys should consider this. It's not really anything we can do, but it's just kind of an opinion on what's happening with the Helium network. Spoofing is a huge issue, and this, you know, the earnings down, the random witnessing was awful, and they add random stuff down here, like now you can calculate how much it will take, how many days it will take to break even. So it'll take me 22 months if I paid $500 to break even. Most people probably paid $1,000. So it'll take you 44 months to break even because a lot of people probably bought them off of eBay to get them sooner. Now, thankfully, I've already broke even on pretty much everything, but I do have a Panther X hotspot. I literally have not even plugged in. I made a video on it and I don't even want to set it up because the hassle and the cost to set it up versus getting 82 cents a day, like, are you kidding me? Like, it's not even worth it for me. I don't want to do that. I'm probably going to end up selling that. And Panther X did give me a good deal on it to get it and review it. Maybe I can return it to him. Who knows? But I'll probably just end up selling it for a good deal to either one of you guys or someone I know locally because it's just ridiculous. And I'm not going to sell it for MSRP. I'll sell it below MSRP because I don't think anyone should be buying any of these things at MSRP. I think as a whole, people need to stop buying them. And I can go to eBay right now and I can search Helium hotspot. And you can see they're still selling for, let's see how much they're actually selling for. So you can get a Bobcat right now for $300 or $350. Sense Cat for $225. Another Bobcat $250. So the prices have come down so drastically. They are lower than what you can buy them for MSRP. And this is exactly how it should be because you should not be paying a ridiculous amount of money for these hotspots. $300 is a solid price. Look, you can get this one for, why is that one $125? Who knows? But oh, that's unfortunate. Someone bought a Nebra. But the point is, like, the network is really struggling, and it's been very obvious for the past couple of months. There's been so many issues, and we've talked about them so much in the Crypto Lab. And let me know what you guys think about this. You guys going to continue mining? This is a big issue that a lot of people have been facing. They don't know if they're going to continue mining because the cost, if they have them at other people's houses, it's expensive to keep that stuff up. So let me know what you guys think. Are you going to continue to mining? Are you going to pull stuff down? Are you going to sell your hotspots or just kind of take them offline for now or just leave them up and just say, screw it. Like right now, I'm just going to leave my hotspot up. It's what, like $1 a month in electricity and I make $20 a month. It's completely unnoticeable. And I already put all the money in. I already made all the money back on everything. So at this point, it's kind of just an extra $20 a month that I can use to buy, I don't know, a 6-pack or something. But thanks guys for watching. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, put them in the comment section below and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace out.